Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So today I'm here with another e-bike review, and this time it's the C3STROM Astro Pro. Now it actually has two different models. There's the Astro and the Astro Pro. Really the big difference is you get a 20 amp battery instead of a 15. So you get a little bit more juice, a little bit more get up and go, and otherwise it's the exact same bike. Same frame, same cushion, same brakes, same everything. This bike, really interesting. And you know I make tech videos, mostly about phones and smartphone stuff, but this one right here drew me in, and I really was excited about it from the get-go. They approached me months ago and said, hey, we're going to send you this out once it's ready. This is basically like a cafe racer e-bike. It's something, it has tons of get up and go. It's very zippy. It goes up to about 28 miles per hour, and if you're in off-road mode, which you can enable in the app, or if you go into the manual mode in the menu, you can go up to 32 miles per hour, but it cautions you do it on a private road because it's not street legal that way. I believe there's something that says you're not supposed to go over 30 miles an hour. Whatever. Be careful. Be careful, period. This is unlike anything you've probably ever ridden. Low profile. It has a kind of a straight line motorcycle style one size seat. It's not something where it's just a traditional bike seat, but it is cushiony. It's very nice. You can adjust the suspension on the front fork. One drawback, you can't adjust any suspension in the back, so when you go over the front of things, it's fine, but if you go over like a road bump or something like that, you do feel a little bit more in the seat whenever you hit it on the back end of the bike. However, it's got a lot of functionality. I don't want to talk about that. The first thing that really drew me in with this bike, other than the looks, because it is aggressive looking, it's chic, it's sleek, it's really something that looks a lot like unlike any other traditional e-bike, hydraulic brakes. This thing has actual hydraulic brakes on it. It's not the regular ones like you see on a regular bike that they put on an e-bike. This will slow you down quick, fast, and in a hurry, and it's great and complimentary, especially because you're going around zipping with so much power. Now, an e-bike, what's so cool about it? Well, you can use it like kind of like a motorcycle. It's got a throttle on the right-hand side. It's got your hand brakes on it, all that good stuff, but you can also pedal it. So if the battery were completely dead, you could still ride this thing around if you needed to in emergency, but so they're saying this thing can go up to a maximum of 78 miles on one charge. If you have the Pro one, over 30 miles on just the throttle mode alone. That's going to be something that really varies by how you use it. Because if you're riding it up and down the hills, it's going to use more battery. If you're bigger like I am, 230 pounds, 6 foot tall, it's going to put more of a strain on the bike and you're going to have to carry around more weight. It's not going to go as far. But under ideal conditions, that's what they've said, a little over 70, like ideal maximum use case scenario. And then a little over 20 whenever it comes to riding around with just the throttle. So you'll probably see less than that under most conditions, but this thing, I will say, from my experience using it, I've put almost 100 miles on this thing in 2 weeks. I have ridden it around a lot. My kids have ridden it around. I've ridden it around. It's something special. Lots of get up and go, and it really gives you kind of an enthusiast feel when you ride it, almost like you're riding around a motorcycle. And I was just talking to my wife recently how much I miss having a motorcycle, and then started riding this, and then I was, again, looking at motorcycles online, which I can't ride anymore, but this is a nice kind of alternative because you don't have to worry about so much like being on a motorcycle, 70 miles an hour, open road, but this you can putt around, use it downtown. It's a Class 3 bike, and that's what the C3 stands for, Class 3 bike, but also you can do the off-road up to 32 miles per hour, 28 miles per hour in C3 mode. So really cool. It even has an app. It has app support where you can control things like changing the units of measurement from metric to American Standard Imperial. You can set a password. You can look at your log, your ride logs on there. You can see how many miles. You can look at the battery health and statistics that are on there. That's where you set the off-road mode or regular mode. So it's really neat, easy to set up, easy to pair. It's available, the app, on Android and also on iOS. So you're covered there that way. Also, one cool thing, there's actually a USB-A charger on the left-hand column, which is nice because you can recharge your phone that way using the built-in battery on the bike if you absolutely have to. It's 1 amp, not the fastest in the world, but it'll do for an emergency and in a pinch. So let's talk more about what's going on with this bike. So it's got the hydraulic brakes, like I said. It's even got turn signals. You got the turn indicator. It's got separate lights on the front, so you get the indication for the left or the right. Also, the tail light on the back with the built-in brake light LED. So you got all that stuff covered. 3.5-inch LCD display. Again, 20 amp battery for the Pro Model 15 for the regular one. and it has a half twist throttle, hydraulic disc brake, Shimano 7-speed control. So you got 7 different gears. That's going to change the intensity, how much you need to apply yourself when you're pedaling. This thing, serious get up and go. 5 different levels of pedal assistance. You can have it off. So basically it's kind of 6. You get 0, which is off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You start pedaling, it kicks in. If you even pedal a little bit, if you pedal a little bit and you have this on turbo 5, like the max level assistance, you're going 27, 26 miles per hour quickly, like very quickly. So if you pedal a little bit harder, you can get up over 28. It is crazy how quick this thing goes, and it's so low profile. It feels like you're on a motorcycle, like a motorbike, like an old street bike if you're kind of from my age, my generation. But it's a lot of fun and really, really fun to ride. Even smaller kids can use it. And you've seen here in the video, I bribed my son with some McDonald's and to go to GameStop. It's easier, not so much easier, but I want to give you a good feel for what it's like to see what it's like riding on the bike, because I can record it and you can see my first person view perspective, but to be able to see somebody else on it with a detailed ride, and you pedal it, you get up and go. You turn the throttle, you get up and go. The headlight is really cool because it's got 2 different modes on there as well. It's got a horn, which we'll go ahead and let you hear the horn here real quick so you can see what that sounds like. It carries, it works really well. This has all the road safety stuff you could ask for. You can drive out and you can tell people you're turning. You can slam on the brakes. You got quick stop with the hydraulics. You can change the gears. The battery lasts for basically forever. I hardly had to charge this thing at all, and the battery's removable. You use the key, you take it off, make sure you lock it back into place. If you don't lock the battery back into place, it will fall off while you're riding it, and that creates a safety hazard. It's dangerous for the battery. It's not good, period. End of story. So be careful with that. Make sure you lock it into place when you put it on. There's a power switch on the battery. You flip that on, you press the power button on the hand controls, you're good to go. The LCD indicator lights up. You got all your stuff there. You got your odometer to track your mileage. You got your speedometer to see how fast you're going. You've got all the things you need. You can see how much pedal assistance you're using. So, and also the battery level indicator. It feels basically like a motorcycle, but it's an e-bike. So honestly, I would kind of like to see something like an e-motorcycle. That would be really cool. I know some people make them, but man, to be able to ride one of these around and go like actually out on the road, that would be pretty cool. So this is a lot of fun to ride. It's very something useful that you can use to putt around town. There's different accessories you can get for it. And check that out. The link is below. A lot of fun, but also be very careful because it does go fast. And the only real complaint I have about this bike is the pedals. Because this bike is so low profile, so low to the ground, when you're pedaling it, if you're not careful and you are on a down pedal or you're turning too much, leaning into a turn, you can scrape the pedal or even the tip of your shoe on the concrete. So I would highly encourage you to pay attention when you're going around turns and also with your pedaling, because it's not something it's not like you catch them on the ground all the time, but I was kind of trying to take a corner pretty aggressive and I was pedaling hard, pushing the bike, and I definitely scraped that there. So be careful with that. The ride is very nice. You can adjust the sensitivity on the front hydraulic forks. Just a twist of your thumbs, and it's got different levels of intensity or lack of intensity there, so you can dampen it more. But overall, I really have been impressed with it. This is like nothing I've ridden before. And I've ridden a couple bikes, but this one to me, I saw it, my kids saw it, we've been riding it around, and every day they're like, Dad, can I go ride it? Dad, can I go ride it? And even my 12-year-old, who you see here in the video, he's not the tallest, biggest guy in the world, he can even ride it. So this is one of those things where you don't have to be a big, huge person to ride it. If you're on the smaller size, smaller stature, you can probably still ride it around. And the thing is with the speed, with the pedal assistance, you're going to get different varying degrees of support with that. So if you got it on 1, it'll help you get around a little bit. You go up to 2, 3, 4, you start getting some serious assistance in the pedals, and that's what helps extend that battery life. And also you can even get an additional battery and connect it. You can have a spare battery on here. So that's another option you can get with this bike that extends the range on it. The 15 amp battery, it's supposed to take about 4 hours of charge. If you have the 20 amp battery, about 5 hours of charge. I think that's pretty fair because a lot of the time you're going to be charging this is going to be at nighttime. You're going to ride it around all day. You might even ride it around all week. This is something where you can ride for a really, really long time. I was really surprised because I went out and I rode this thing for days, and it hardly moved the battery at all. My kids are like, Dad, the battery never dies on this thing. And we have got a big subdivision that's about, probably about 0.8 of a mile on the way around. We ride around, we ride around, we ride around, we leave the subdivision, we go around and do other stuff. And the battery life is just, it's really, really surprising. I mean, I expected much less. So riding is nice. It's got a nice weight to it. It's got it made out of aluminum alloy. It weighs about just over 90 pounds. So it is hefty. It's not light by any stretch of the imagination, but it does have a really good premium build quality to it. And I think that this thing's made really well. Of course, they are going to have some optional accessories. You can check all that stuff out on their website with the launch for this product. And yeah, it's an excellent bike that gives you the feel of riding around on a street bike or like an e-bike moped, cafe racer, something that you can enjoy Class 3 level performance and also the off-road performance as well. It's got some serious tires on it. It's got some nice big robust rubber tires. They're not thin. This is not your father's e-bike, even though the e-bikes haven't been around that long. It's not your father's regular bike. Doesn't have the thin tires, big tires, plenty of room out there so you can get good connection, traction on the ground while you're riding it. Don't have to worry about braking traction. And otherwise, yeah, it's a great experience. It's fun to ride around. You got the rack on the back, supports up to 33 pounds. So if you need to, you can tie stuff down on that. And it's just overall, I think they did a good job. I really enjoyed it. Peak performance on anything I've seen in the e-bike world. And as somebody who rode motorcycles for over 12 years, I had a Harley, I had Suzuki, I had all sorts of different stuff. Switching over to this e-bike life and putting around on this is a lot of fun. You get the wind in your hair. Of course, you need to wear a helmet. Definitely wear a helmet for safety's sake, because you can get going pretty fast on these things, especially out riding around on the road. There's cars, all that good stuff. So pretty cool. This is the Astro, or the Astro Pro, which is the one that I have. Also comes in two colors, black or gray, and it looks sharp. Like it's got some great curb appeal, some curb attraction on this one, and that's pretty much it. So that's all I've got on this video. If you have any questions or comments on this Astro e-bike, then please let me know. Go to the comment section. We'll talk about it. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.